Hi, I'm Barry Weller, retired professor of English at the University of Utah. The Humanities Center has asked me to say a few words to preface this screening. Every production of Shakespeare's Henry V mirrors the attitudes of the times in which it is staged. Of course, you could say the same thing about every Shakespearean production, but the topics of Henry V, warfare, the character of leadership, the mutual misunderstanding of nations, and even of ethnic and social groups within each nation, are especially sensitive to shifting historical preoccupations. Laurence Olivier's still classic film of 1944 was a patriotic lyrical epic, inspired by England's underdog determination against Nazi aggression and the camaraderie of warfare. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Later productions have laid more emphasis on the wasteful brutality of war and the arbitrary, even cynical motives that prompt Henry's invasion of France. In the plays that precede Henry V, King Henry IV hopes to lead English troops to Jerusalem, partly to expiate his role in the deposition and death of his cousin, Richard II, but also to bring together the factions that threaten English unity. The sequel suggests the Machiavellian insight that any foreign war will serve that second purpose just as well as a crusade. The English clergy back the complicated dynastic claim against France to distract the king from taxing their resources. And the Dauphin, heir apparent to the throne of France, conveniently provides a pretext by taunting King Henry's youth. In prayer before the Battle of Agincourt, Henry alludes to his father's fall, to the bypaths and direct, crooked ways that led him to the throne. But he asks God to forget that fall, at least temporarily. Moreover, a short scene concerned with Falstaff's death reminds the audience of the personal cost of Henry's ascent to the throne. Falstaff's friends say Henry, formerly Prince Hal, hath run bad humors on the night, but the king is a good king, and it must be as it may. As Henry wanders in disguise among his soldiers and hears more than he wishes about the responsibility these commoners lay upon their ruler, the play evokes the medieval notion of the king's two bodies. The king is divinely anointed personification of his nation, and the individual human frailty of the person who occupies that role. As Henry's father says in an earlier play, uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. After the lopsided victory of the English at Agincourt, historically not as lopsided as Shakespeare says, but still hugely uneven, the play concludes with an episode of romantic comedy as Henry woos Princess Catherine of France. And for the wittiest performance of this courtship, I urge you to go back to Olivier's film. As the princess's earlier English lesson tells us, she has always known her marriage will be part of the way this war ends. I haven't seen this production of Henry V, so I can't say where its particular emphasis will land, but no doubt it will add another chapter to the constant marvel of how Shakespeare's plays can accommodate disparate yet complementary perspectives.